Guys, I made a video called Unknown 9 Awakening is Peak AAA Slop. Something along those lines. I'll put the video up on the screen right now. I recommend you go and watch it before watching this video, but once again, just like I said in my last video, it's up to you. You can go watch that video if you'd like more context as to why this game sucks, but, you know, this video can stand on its own. Anyway, let's get into it. Unknown 9 Awakening, the 9 can stand for the player count or the frame rate, is an abysmal piece of garbage. Not only is this game an abysmal piece of garbage in every single way imaginable, and even the journalist we're going to take a look at today is going to admit that, but it was also made by a very hateful person, or the lead writer was a very hateful person, I should say. I am talking about someone who works for a company that disrespected the name of Akira Toriyama the second he died so that he couldn't defend himself. Not only is that just a shitty thing to do, but you're also a complete coward. And I am so glad that Dragon Ball's doing so much better than your game right now. Can you guys imagine if someone like me waited for someone to die to make a video clowning them? Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Let's get into the topic of today's video, that being the journalist that hyped up this pure slop. We need more games like Unknown 9 Awakening. Good graphics don't make a game great, but good storytelling does. Yeah, it's too bad that this game does not have good storytelling, at least if I can go by what the reviews are saying. In fact, this game does not have anything good going for it. It has hateful people working on the game, it performs worse than most 360 games, unable to keep a solid 30 frames per second. What is this, 2006? It has bad storytelling, bad looking characters, bad graphics, uninspired and boring combat. I mean, what was the fucking selling point in this game? Why are you defending this? Now, I was eating lunch the other day and I decided to watch some YouTube while I eat, like I normally do, and I saw a video saying that this game sold 0 copies at GameStop. 0, a big fat donut. Here is the email that a GameStop employee allegedly sent to a YouTuber who talked about this game. I work for GameStop at the corporate level. I have data on 2,900 stores. Your video inspired me to check Unknown 9 sales. While there was movement for 2K initial copies, which were store distributions, I saw maybe 50 other copies with movement, which were pre-orders, but nothing else. We had around 350 copies of Unknown 9 for PS5 available for shipping, but the demand was 0, meaning none sold. On Xbox, we had about 150 copies and 0 demand. So between both platforms at the time of my first email, we sold 0 copies. I just realized I sounded like DSP reading that off. Whenever he says 0, he says 0 after. Guys, you gotta step up the support. I got 0 donations today. 0. But it's funny that you come out and say we need more games like Unknown 9 Awakening, which sold 0 physical copies at GameStops. You might as well come out and say we need more layoffs in the industry. I mean, I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on, and I'm gonna say that this person wants the industry to burn to the ground, and that's why they're defending this game. Unknown 9 Awakening from Reflector Entertainment and Bandai Namco is not the prettiest game in the world. In fact, its character models lean into the uglier side, giving wide-eyed, blank expressions and stiff mouths that have a lack of sync with the game's voice track. The combat is also fairly unimpressive, with a baked-in repetition that makes later stages bland. But even with those criticisms, I have a lot of love for this game, and I firmly believe we need more games just like it. So basically the game is just complete garbage, but we need more garbage games. I find it absolutely hilarious that Game Journos made an article before, I covered it on the channel, where they're crying because people claim they don't play video games, but yet then you post stuff like this. You literally come out and say the game looks ugly, plays ugly, and there's nothing really good about it, the voices are off sync, but you guys should like games like this. This is not some $5 indie game where you play it and you're like, it's shit, but I paid $5 for it. This is a game that costs $66 Canadian and is a AAA game published by Bandai Namco. You can buy like 3 amazing Xbox 360 era games with this money and actually get a good experience. You could buy Shadow of the Erdtree for this money. Why the fuck would you buy this? In recent years, we have seen the games industry relying too heavily on homogeneity for reasons of safety. Games are becoming more expensive and complex to make, and the path of least resistance is the most familiar. Single-player open-world adventures, multiplayer co-op skirmish games, and so on. Perhaps there's some microtransactions in there as well. Games need to make money, after all, which Unknown 9 Awakening didn't, so why are you defending it? Games need to make money, but let me sit here and say that we need more games that made absolute fuck all when it comes to profits. Why buy all of these AAA games that are a 5 out of 10 when you can buy this 2 out of 10? The only way I'd ever play this game is if someone donated me like $300. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. You talk about the state of the video game industry, not realizing this game is everything wrong with modern gaming. Awful performance, awful gameplay, awful visuals. I mean, what does this game have going for it? But Unknown 9 Awakening is definitely different. It feels like a game derived from the golden age of PlayStation 3/Xbox 360 era, in that it has a unique late 2000s or early 2010s flavor to it. It feels like a game that would fit alongside Uncharted and Infamous. You know, this game does kind of feel like an Xbox 360 game. In all the wrong ways. It only feels like an Xbox 360 game when it comes to graphics and performance, two areas in which a game should not feel like a 360 game. We are 2 console generations past that now. But this game feels like a 360 game in no other way but the 2 worst ways possible. I mean, the gameplay of the Xbox 360 era games were actually good, unlike this game. It feels like an Xbox 360 game, yay! In the fact that it runs below 30 frames per second most of the time and has to play at like 1080p upscaled. Woohoo! There's a nostalgia to it that's difficult to fully describe. It's in the vibes, the graphics, the simplistic but extremely enjoyable gameplay. There is a real sense of adventure and discovery in Unknown 9 Awakening, and it's strange to realize that sense of novelty has disappeared from other modern games. You know what I'd like to discover? Who thought this was a good idea to greenlight this game? I'd also like to discover where you're getting all this copium. This game had so many problems to it, no wonder it failed. You had the whole working with SPI, you had the bad performance, the bad graphics, the bad storytelling, the bad gameplay, and I don't think each of these things on their own are enough to kill a game. God of War Ragnarok succeeded despite its working with SPI. Black Myth Wukong succeeded despite its lackluster performance. Games can succeed if they have like one of these problems, but how can you expect this to succeed when it has every single problem I just mentioned? In lieu of dazzling graphics which may trick a player with illusions of prestige, Unknown 9 Awakening relies more on the strength of its world building and storytelling. Unknown 9, the franchise on which the game is based, is actually a cross-media universe that focuses on godlike beings that protect the universe and the balance of reality. There's comic books, podcasts, a novel, and the Awakening tied in, with each part of the franchise expanding the core tale. It's funny because the world building and storytelling are all areas that reviewers are dunking on, so clearly they aren't even good, so I don't know what the selling point of this game is. I don't know why you're so desperate to defend something that obviously isn't good. I mean, even IGN dunked on this game because even they know it's not good. But that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video. If you liked, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, and peace.